I arrive in a haunted house filled with taunting ghosts. I used to reside in this house, in a time before it was plagued by the undead. In my memories, the space was decorated with pristine furniture, and portraits of a happy family lined the walls, all of which was a facade. Abandoned by the people fleeing its grasp, the house was transformed into a decaying organism, like fruit left in the sun to be eaten by mold. The walls are infested with rot. The floorboards groan beneath me. Its only occupants are insects. It's a corpse ready to be cremated. The sun has not yet risen, depriving the house of warmth and light. The air is cold and stale, making goosebumps rise rapidly across my skin, the living room coated in a blanket of grey, which conceals only marks on the floor where the furniture once lived, and a TV too old to belong in this time. Here I encounter the first ghost. The TV flickers alive, displaying a frantic static despite not being plugged in, the scratchy sound attacking my ears. The ghosts of my siblings appear where the lounge once was, staring intently at the screen with small, sad smiles on their faces. This was how we used to spend our nights, huddled together until our eyes went square, the volume high enough to drown out the conflict in the other room. The deep yell which drowned the weak cries. Both disappeared with each click of the volume button. As the static dissipates, so too does the memory. I hover for a moment, staring at the space my siblings manifested, encased in their childhood bodies. Now they are big and grown, too big to keep in contact. I lift the can of gasoline in my hand and pour it over the TV, trailing it behind me as I go to confront the house. The bathroom is fetid and dirty. There's a strange pull to the room, a morbid curiosity to look inside despite the smell and the grime and the bad taste forming in my mouth. It had always been a cramped room to share amongst 5 people, and it feels more cramped now as I weave my way through a maze of ceramic shards which look like scattered teeth. The mirror reflects a dark silhouette of myself, my face remaining hazy. He appears beside me wordlessly, as if I'd chanted his name 3 times by candlelight and summoned him. I haven't seen my father in years. Our last encounter had been quick, the second chance I'd allowed him extinguished when he'd asked me for cash. His ghost betrays him the way he'd always looked, exasperated of life, his face covered by stubble and a saddened expression. His words were always slurred, but he speaks clearly now. "You know I'm doing my best for you all, right?" When I was younger, I'd nodded and told him, "I know, Daddy." Now I'm older and shake my head. "Don't lie, Daddy." The ghost disappears, his spirit released. I stain the spot he once stood with gasoline. Time has also transformed my siblings' rooms, peeling old drawings off the walls and tearing at the mattresses which greedily drink the gasoline. At the end of the hall looms the door to my room, jammed shut in its frame. It whines as I push it open, revealing the room to me. Inside is a preserved moment, when my only fears were monsters under the bed and boogeymen in the closet. I hadn't recognized the real monster in the house. The ghost of my mother rushes into the room, hurriedly shaking the sleeping girl in the bed, shushing her to be quiet. "Stay quiet," she whispers. "Go to the car." The child protests, confused. I was still partially asleep as she shook me, and convinced myself it was a dream. Then I caught the fearful look in my mother's eyes, and I knew my mind couldn't conjure such a sight. My siblings were already in the car. Mum put the car into drive. I hadn't put my seatbelt on. She drove us into the night's arms. "Where's Dad?" the youngest asked. "He's not coming," I gently said. His absence confirmed my suspicion. This was an escape. The ghost of my mother turns to me now. "It's time." I'd never felt any attachment to this place, the prison that connected us all to my father. It shaped me into the person I am, but the person I am has a heart of glass and lungs of paper. I never escape the house, not when its ghosts haunt me every day, not when the memories are embedded into my bloodstream. My siblings' ghostly forms emerge from their rooms and follow me down the hall, their presence reassuring. They stand in the center of the living room, each dressed in a small smile. Their faces remain unchanging as the matchbox appears in my hand. I feel no remorse, nor vengeance. "Goodbye," I softly say, striking the match and throwing it to unite with the gasoline. And the house finally feels warm. Thank you so much for listening to my short story, Haunted. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like or leaving your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If you want to see more content from me, you can subscribe for future videos or stick around to the end screen to have more recommended to you. Thank you once again for watching.